How's it going, guys? Kevin Cleary here with a knife video for you. And this knife is here because it's kind of a thing of the past. This is one of the knives that is announced as a model ColdSteel is dropping, and I'm really sorry to see that. I love the ColdSteel Talwar. I do think because of its shape, people look at it and go, that's not the knife for me. But they don't realize if you get this knife in hand, it is amazing. Now, that's a little bit besides the point. This is not the knife I want to talk with you about. Neither is this one. Let me pull in a couple of more. This is not the ColdSteel I want to talk about. This is not the ColdSteel I want to talk about. I've got to start switching these out so I have room in frame. This is also not the ColdSteel I want to talk to you about, although I enjoy every one of these. This is also not the ColdSteel I want to talk to you about. So let me pull in one more in case it's just because it's conspicuously absent. This, although it's one that I will be talking about soon, I have my full review pretty well ready to go, and I will get it done in the next, say probably about a week. I've got these ColdSteel knives. There's no question that I'm a huge fan of ColdSteel knives, well, I could do a whole video about pretty well all of these knives, or include or pull one, use one, do one, if I can get this out, or do one including all of these knives. Today I'm not going to. Today I'm going to pull out the I'm going to try something new, and I'm going to look at the ColdSteel website and go through the product guide with you. Now, if you want to do that with me, the link is in the description box below to the new stuff from ColdSteel. And I want to go through that and talk about the different models that are coming up and which ones I'm interested in, and which ones I will have on my buy list, and which ones I'll just be watching and maybe show some interest in. All right. So if you don't mind, go either follow that link and then come back and kind of follow through with me, or I am going to actually record the computer screen. I've never done that before, and it could be a total failure. I'm kind of hoping that it's not, but it is a bit of an experiment for me. So please allow me a little bit of a learning curve when we switch over to the computer screen view here in a second. All right, let's go over there now. Okay guys, so now that you know that I'm a bit of a ColdSteel fanboy, here is what I want to talk with you about. This is the new for 2017 ColdSteel product guide, and there are a few new things here that I want to hit on as highlights. I'm going to skip over a lot of stuff, but then there'll be a few things that I'll focus on for a second. Beginning with this guy, this is the Working Man. To me, it looks like it might be just a larger version of the Pro Lite, or a slightly varied version of the Pro Lite. And I hope that's the case. Let me see the specs on this. Overall length is what I'm looking for. 8 inches. So it actually may be the same size as the Pro Lite. If so, I found the Pro Lite to be just a little bit small. I would have liked an extra ½ an inch there, mostly for in the handle area. We'll have to see. Now, probably because the Pro Lite did fairly well for ColdSteel, this was an interesting offering. But they seem very, very close. So I'm not sure if there's a bit of redundancy between those two models. Now here's a model that's a little more different. This is the Grick. Now it's only a 3-inch blade length, so it's a little shorter than what I like, but I kind of find the handle pretty interesting, and I don't know, overall I think I might like this design. In some ways I feel like the thumb ramp that they've done here fits this design better than some of the others, which we'll talk about as we go through. Yes, I wish it were a little larger, but this is one that's kind of piques my curiosity, and I'd probably be more likely to actually go and pick this one up more so than the Working Man that we were just looking at. But I'm interested in both of those. Let's carry on. By the way, if you're wanting to kind of go to the website and follow along here as we go through this, there is a link in the description box below. So you could easily scroll down, click that link, and then kind of follow along as we work through here and see what your thoughts are. And of course, be able to see a little more detail on some of these knives. So this one, the GoldenEye, it's an Andrew Demko design. This is one they kind of sent out that teaser on, I don't know, it's maybe a month or two ago now. This is one that I'd like to check out. As I say, I'd like to say on this one, I'm not sure exactly what I think about it, but I would like to try it and just see if it's awesome or if I'm not that big of a fan. Especially I'd like to see what I think of the opening mechanism there, the ramped thumb or the hollow thumb ramp there. Some people have said about this when it first came out, a bunch of people were like, oh, it looks like a Spyderco, and I'm there going, you know, there's a lot of different blade knives out there with holes in the blade for opening mechanisms. Yes, they're borrowing from Spyderco. Of all the ones that are definitely borrowing from Spyderco, this one reminds me least of any Spyderco that I've seen. Now, maybe the different color variations that we're seeing this year, of which there are quite a few, remind me a little more of Spyderco. But yeah, this is one that I definitely want to try out. Let me point out here, I'm not going to zoom in on it, but over here there is an Elite model for $359. Now that's their price on the website, so if that's MSRP, you know, this will probably be a $200 knife or something like that. ColdSteel is a company that tends to have these crazy high MSRPs. I'm not sure why, but this is, you know, and maybe if this one was totally awesome, this would be worth checking out, right? One other that I'm kind of interested in, this is the Frenzy. There's a Frenzy, okay, Frenzy and a Frenzy 2. I'm not sure what the actual differences are. I've read a little bit on them, and they basically seem to have the same description. But it is an interesting looking design to me. Now, let me say this. While I feel like it's interesting looking, this is not on my buy list. It's just on my interest list. Does that make sense to everybody? So I'm not going to run out and be, you know, looking to pick this up as soon as it comes into stores. But if by some, you know, chance I was able to get one at a good price, or they were, you know, I was able to get my hands on one for review, I would probably be interested in doing that. All right, so moving on, there's down here. Oh, I forgot to mention the con. The con over here, I'll zoom in on this one. This is a cool looking design. Now, my only issue with this one is the size. So it's 7 inches overall, which is a little too short for me, but I do like the overall design of it. I like the finger choil here, as well as possibly a finger choil. Sorry about that. Right there. If that is large enough to function as a finger choil, that might be a pretty cool design. Again, probably not on my buy list because of the fact that it's only 3 inches, and I tend to steer away from that. Now, here's a knife that's well under 3 inches, but which I've had before and have reviewed on this channel. It's a very, very good knife. The Tough Lite is available in a bunch of different colors this year, which is really, really cool. And I really want to get my hands on one of these Tough Lites. My old one, I actually was, you know, doing some prying with it, and I bent the tip of the blade quite badly. So I kind of reground it, and it's in a state that where it kind of functions, but I really do need to replace it. And so now that there's a bunch of different color options, I may go ahead and do that. If you've never tried a Tough Lite, they are a really great little blade. Now, we're back to the Pro Lite. There's the Tanto and the clip point, but let me switch pages here and you'll see one that I'm really more interested in. This is the, come on, Pro Lite Sport. And you can see it has a more Wharncliffe style blade. It's not really a Wharncliffe style blade, but it's kind of, you know, has that look to it. Sorry about that. Every time you scroll over the picture, it zooms in really close. So, I kind of like this blade shape, so I don't know if I like it enough to go pick one up. They are fairly budget friendly, so maybe we will do that. But this is a blade shape I really like, and I kind of wish they had released this one initially, because I would have taken this over the model that I did end up having. Now let's keep moving here. There's a couple more blades I want to share with you. First, let me point out the Finn Wolf in a bunch of different colors. So it looks like a lot of their budget blades, the Pro Lite in a few different colors, the Finn Wolf in a few different colors. The Ultimate Hunter in Blaze Orange, I really like. The Ultimate Hunter is a great knife. You saw that one just a second ago. Very well done. And here it is with a color variation. I really, really like that. And I kind of wish ColdSteel had been doing this more. Now, here we are at a blade that I want to zoom in on, because this is one I would like to check out. This is the SR1 folder. So It says it's going to be S35VN, which is really, really cool. I think that's a first from ColdSteel. If it's not, just correct me in the comments down below. But yeah, G10 handle, typical ColdSteel design in a folder version of a very popular ColdSteel knife. So yeah, this would be one that'll be on my buy list. Don't let the prices, by the way, put you off. I know it says $264.99. ColdSteel's MSRPs are crazy high all the time. Now, 7.3 ounces is pretty hefty, but it's a 4-inch blade, so we're looking at a fairly large knife, and that's why I'm interested in this one. You guys know I prefer the large blades, and so this one is on my buy list for sure, the SR1. Now, here's another one that is pretty interesting to me. This is the Night Force. Now, if the Formax proves anything, it's that ColdSteel can do a pretty good job on a high-end blade, and maybe this is the sequel to the Formax, although the price point on this is not quite as high. This does look like an interesting blade. The Damascus steel is pretty cool. Premium, they just say premium materials, so I'm going to assume it's carbon fiber. Hopefully it's not laminate carbon fiber. That does drive me a little bit crazy. Anyway, really nice looking blade. And of all the knives that we've seen so far with this little hole for an opening mechanism, this one I feel like it goes the best. This knife feels like it flows, like the design really works. Everything kind of ties in really well. And so definitely this is one that's got me interested, although I'm not 100% sure about it. So we'll probably, we'll see what happens with that one. By the way, a knife like this, if you remember the Formax, it was supposed to be introduced quite a while before it actually was. So there you go, guys. Let's just kind of scroll through here. You can see a few different colors of Recon 1. And by the way, the Recon 1 is a great blade. If you don't have one, you really should get one. They are really well done, as is the American Lawman. But there you go. That is my take on the ColdSteel catalog new for 2017. Let me know what models you're most interested down below. And if you're a ColdSteel guy at all, I know some people, it seems to be one of those companies where you either love them or you hate them. I definitely really like them, even though I think Lynn Anderson is a bozo, and some of the business choices they've made and lawsuits they brought are absolutely stupid, but I do like their knives, and those are the ones that I like for this year. Hope you enjoyed the video. We will talk to you soon.